Hey guys, Glenn here from jazzpianolessons.online, and today we're looking at the great tune All Blues, and we're delving into the Mixolydian mode to find out a little bit more about that and how we can use that in all of our playing, not just in the song All Blues, but in all of our playing. And so, hey guys, if you like what we're doing here, please subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and you'll get updated with all the latest videos that we've got. All right, so we're going to get straight into it. All right, the Mixolydian mode. What is it? How do we play it? And what's the point of it? Where do you put it? You know, what point in time in your playing do you chuck it in? All that kind of stuff. All right. So first of all, let's just get into that. So now this is the Mixolydian mode is the fifth mode. All right, so here's our C major scale. All right. Now, if you're not sure about major scales, you've got to go back and check out one of our other videos which talk about the major scales. But so here's our C major scale. Now, the modes are basically where we start on a different note, but we still play the same scale. So, for example, I've started on the second, and I've still played C major scale, but I started on the second. Now it's the same if I started here on the E. All right, I played, that's a different mode. I'm not going to talk about that one today because I don't want to confuse everyone. We're just talking about the Mixolydian mode. We have talked about the Dorian mode in previous lessons, of course. So what we're doing is the fifth mode. All right, the fifth mode. And of the fifth mode of whatever scale it is that you want to do. Now, there's a couple of ways you can think of it. So at this stage, I'm thinking this is C major scale, but starting on the fifth and ending on the fifth. All right, and the important notes being, you know, the 1, 3, 7, all that kind of stuff. Right. So that's one way of looking at it. Another way to look at it is to flatten the seventh note. So normally G major scale would have an F sharp in it, right? So the Mixolydian mode, another way of thinking of it, if you want to think of it as a parallel mode to the, you know, you can think of it as all you got to do is lower the seventh note. All right, so then you'll get what you need, right? Okay, so that's two ways to think of it. So let's, for example, if we're going to C Mixolydian, that's C major scale. If I want to go to C Mixolydian from C major scale, all I've got to do is lower the seventh note. All right, now I'll just put up the notation for that as well. So you can see that the B has been flattened, and so that's the seventh note. So that's a different way to think about it. So you can either think of it as the fifth mode of whatever scale it is, whatever the major scale is, or you can start with a parallel major scale and lower the seventh note. Now that's all there is to the Mixolydian mode, and we're going to look at the tune All Blues because it's a great little tune that has basically a bunch of dominant seventh chords. Oh, so I must say, when we're playing a Mixolydian mode, why would we play it? We're usually playing it because our chord is a dominant seventh chord, right? There's 1, 3, 5, 7. That's a major chord because I'm using 1, 3, 5, 7 of the major scale. The lowered seventh gives us 1, 3, 5. Lowered seventh gives us a dominant chord. So that's C7 or C dominant 7. When you normally just call it C7, right? Here's F7. Here's F major scale. So 1, 3, 5, 7 gives us our F major 7. If I lower the seventh, I've got the dominant seventh chord of the F, right? So the F7, okay? Now All Blues goes G7, C7, G7, then it has a D7 sharp 9, and E flat 7 sharp 9, D7 sharp 9, or altered chord as well. Sometimes it's got a flat 5 in there as well, or some other alterations, whatever you kind of feel like. Then it goes back to the G7. Now we're not going to talk about the D7 sharp 9 and the E flat 7 sharp 9 today. I will do another video on that where we talk about the diminished blues scale, and that's a great scale to use, or you could kind of alter if you wanted the Mixolydian mode for now. But today we're just looking at the G7, the C7 chords, which is why I've put out that notation for you there. So G7, G Mixolydian, it's all the white notes, and then C Mixolydian, all the white notes but the B flat, no B, okay? All right, so that's all you kind of need to know for that. All right. So this is the melody, right, of the song. All right, now I'm going to start improvising here. Now this is the G7 chord, so I'm just going to play White's notes. But I'm making sure that the important notes are related to the chord a bit more. You can see there's a G chord there, G7, and then I'm going to go to that guide tone there of the C, the third note, and there's that B flat. You can hear how that wanted to go to that B natural. Alright, there's our D flat, our D7. There was the diminished blues scale there I used, which I'll do another video on that soon. Alright, you can see if it's going down wires. Just up. I'll come down and I'll change the chord. Gotta go to that B flat, right? Alright, you can see how you can use that Mixolydian mode. It's a great little way of playing around, particularly the dominant 7th chords. Now, when you're doing 2-5-1s and it's moving kind of quickly, you've got to move around that kind of fast. Now, some licks can help you with that, but also just kind of really getting to know that mode, the Mixolydian mode, is really helpful. Here's one way I practice it. I play my dominant 7th chord there. Let me just go back to that screen there. There we go. So you can kind of play it up, then go up by thirds, and come back down. Just getting really used to it. Playing the chords, just the triads, and then go back. Same. Now, when it's all white notes, it's not that hard really to do it, is it? Going up by fourths, and then kind of as a pattern. Now that's great. Now but let's say you're playing an E flat dominant chord, right? I'm playing an E flat 13 here. Right, there's my 13 there. There's my 9. There's my guide tones, my 3 and my 7. I want to know that scale really well. I don't have to think about it, right? Of course, right? So same thing. I want to kind of do that kind of going up by thirds. Now I can think of the mode as either the 5th of another key, all right, so I've got to work backwards, 5 notes, or I can think of it as a flat 7. If I think of it as the 5th, I've got to go down. There it is, there's the A flat, right? So it's a key of A flat, but starting on E flat. Or you might want to think of it as the lowered 7th, as the E flat major scale, but with a lowered 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lower that 7th. There you go. And that's how I think of the E flat one. And it does, for me, it actually changes depending on the mode, and hopefully that's helpful for you. But get used to it. Just kind of play it around. Work out which notes are going to sound good. The notes that always sound good are the notes of the chord. the notes that sound okay always are the other notes. But I mean, it's not to say that you can't play any other notes as well, you know, like when you go completely outside. I mean, that kind of works too, where I'm playing notes that aren't belonging to the mode, right? But I'm coming back to the notes of the mode, and also my guide tones to kind of help solidify things and keep people being able to listen to what you're playing. All right, hope this has been helpful for you. If it's been helpful, please subscribe, share it with your friends, and that would be great. JazzPianoLessons.online with Glenn.